Warning: the following podcast has been rated listener R due to strong language, violent situations, drug references, sexual innuendos, and who knows what else. Listener discretion is advised. With that being said, hang on, sugar tits, because we're about to get wobbled.
What is going on, guys? It's Clayton Wobble Elliott back with the Let's Get Wobbled podcast, episode 18. So, let's go ahead and go back and talk about Thanksgiving. I know I didn't put out much of a notice for Thanksgiving. Kind of had some stuff going on, had some planning that was going on in my family, and trying to get to see everybody around the holidays. And was also going through some other stuff at work, and just decided that I wasn't going to put out an episode. And I tried to do one, but it just wasn't what I really wanted. So I was like, you know what? I'll take this week off of Thanksgiving, spend it with family, and then I'll jump back on and get back on the tracks this upcoming week. So I hope you guys had a wonderful Thanksgiving this past week. Hope all you guys got your bellies full, got your turkey coma that you wanted, and hope you got to see all the family that you wanted to see and avoided all the family that you didn't. It is Tuesday night. I just finished up my shift at work. And you know what? I tried to record a podcast yesterday, being Monday, and I recorded it in my bedroom and threw some ideas out, blah, 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 whatever. Stopped the podcast, put the laptop down, and thought, this is awful. This is just not what I want. I can tell that it's not the quality that I normally put out, and just wasn't pleased with it. So I thought, I'm going to do what I know how to do. I'm going to go out. I'm going to sit in the garage. I've got a nice Tatiana mocha cigar that I've got lit up right here in my hand. Got an ice cold Busch Light on the other hand. And we're just chilling. We're just going to do this. Recap a couple things. Tell you what to look forward to in the next coming up episode. So if you're not at work, and if you're just hanging out at the house, just relaxing, light up a good cigar with me, and we'll go ahead and get into conversation here. So let's recap Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving Day, I went over to my grandmother's house on my dad's side. Had Thanksgiving with my dad's side of the family. Wonderful Thanksgiving. It's always a great time. Anytime we go down there, we always get into a card game. So I had a bunch of card games going on, had me a little turkey coma nap. It was wonderful. Couldn't have asked for a better shindig than that. It was just a good Thanksgiving. I mean, it's what you expect out of one. Friday night, went over to my mom's house with my girlfriend, my mom, her boyfriend, his kids, and me and my girlfriend, my brother showed up after work. Had another wonderful Thanksgiving. Got to spend time with them, laughed, joked, spent some time together. And then I had to leave my mom's early so I could get Kristen back to the house. She had a college paper that was due she needed to work on, and has this group thing where her and her group have to get on Zoom and do an actual meeting. So we left my mom's early, came back. She did her college project, went to bed early Friday night, got up early Saturday morning. I was super excited because I'm a diehard Buckeyes fan, for those who don't know. And I still say this to this day. So if you know why, you know. If you know, you know. If you don't, whatever. I had bet somebody at work that the Buckeyes were going to win versus the team up north. Winded up costing me almost $30+ in lunch today. I told him I wasn't going to bet him cash. I'd bet him lunch. That way I could get my belly full, and still got my belly full, but I wound up having to pay for it today. So unfortunately that happened. The Buckeyes dropped to number 5. So there's a slim chance we can still get back in there, hoping and praying for the best. But went up Saturday to watch the Buckeye game. The Warthogs were having a party up in Cleveland. So we went up there, got into a raffle up there while I was up there. Because anytime you go to one of our club events, they've always got raffles and stuff going on. So I put in for the raffle. One of the raffles they had up there, was a bottle of Woodford Reserve. It was custom engraved. Um, had the emblem of our motorcycle club on the front of it, and then on the back of it had the team up north versus Ohio State 2022. And it's like, that'd be really cool to win. And with the bottle came with a decorative plate, wooden kind of slab plate like thing, had our emblem engraved in it also. And then it also comes with 2 rock glasses that were custom engraved too. I was like, that would be awesome to have. I'd definitely like to do that. So I got in on that raffle, a couple other ones. They did the raffle for the Woodford Reserve before the game started, and it turns out that I won it. So I was like, fucking sweet. You know, I was super stoked just before the game even started. But luckily, I did win that because that was the only thing that was really enjoyable other than being around the people that I like to be around, of course. But that was the only thing really good that came out of the game was me winning the raffle. So, yeah, just is what it is. I mean, I don't take it to heart. It's just a football game. You know, they're college football teams. My life still goes on, but I am a diehard Buckeyes fan. Always have been, always will be. Um, Grew up that way with my family, all liking the Buckeyes. I can remember back when I lived with my mom and dad, we would always watch the Buckeye games on Saturday, no matter what time. Sometimes we'd fall asleep halfway through the game, wake up, catch the end of it. But kind of like the race on Sundays. That's just what we did on our weekends to relax back when I was a kid. And I enjoy that a lot too. So whenever I can, with me working second shift and not having weekends off, I come home on Saturday because I didn't get to see the game. I got to hear what the final was. I'll come home Saturday, immediately jump on YouTube, and then look up the highlights and watch like the 30-minute highlights of the entire game. And I do that every Saturday. Kristen gets, I think she doesn't get upset, but she just knows that on Saturdays when she comes down and she's waiting for me to get off work, I'm coming home. That's the first thing I do. I take my uniform off. I go in and I watch the Buckeye highlights. So I had a very interesting weekend. It was a good time. Had a lot of good time with some good friends, good people. Got to spend my Thanksgiving with the ones that I wanted to the most. Um, and it was just an all around great time. But I want to recap here. Did some research and was trying to see what people's staple for Thanksgiving food is. You know, what are some things that people, I mean, I know what a classic Thanksgiving in my eyes would be, but some people may not see it the same way. Some people may see Thanksgiving and, you know, cook something different than what my family has always done. So what I did was I categorized some food, and I broke down 4 different categories. And I wanted to make it kind of a challenge for me because the list could have went on and on and on and on about all the other things that, you know, I could have put on this list. But I've got 4 different categories, one being the must-haves. Like that's the first plate that you have for Thanksgiving. Gonna definitely grab this on the first go round. Second category is second rounds for sure. So I'm definitely going back to get a second plate. You know, it's not my first choice, but I'll definitely go back and have seconds. My third category is if there's room for a third plate or an after Thanksgiving snack. So I've got one of that category. And then my fourth category are absolutely no's. So I'm going to read you my categories, and I want you to think about what yours are and see if mine and yours line up. See if we're completely different on things. See if we're alike on some things, and I'll see where we all fall on this Thanksgiving meal list. So, must-haves, category 1. When I'm going through, I've already scoped this stuff out. I've already looked at this to find, okay, there's where that is. Definitely grabbing some of that. My number 1 is the stuffing. Now, homemade stuffing isn't bad. I've never had really a bad homemade stuffing, but stovetop does a wonderful job. I'm perfectly okay with stovetop stuffing. I do even like a little bit of crunch in my stuffing, a little bit of texture. Doesn't have to all be crunchy, but a little bit of crunch in my stuffing. Oh, I'm all about the stuffing. Stuffing is number 1. I do not give a shit. It's on the plate, first round. Also in the first round, dinner rolls. I know some of you might be thinking, the dinner roll isn't that important. It absolutely is. It's a fucking staple for me. Now, the quality of the roll will decide what category that's in for me. If they're homemade rolls or if it's homemade bread, absolutely. Category 1, it's in there. If it's King's Hawaiian rolls, category 1, absolutely. It's in there. I'm going for it. If you have rolls that look like they've sat on your kitchen counter for 3 weeks and have the same texture as well, we have an issue because they will not be in my category 1. They will be in my category 4. And I would prefer if you invite me to your Thanksgiving that you call me, or I'll call you even if I have to. Be like, hey, what kind of rolls you gonna have for Thanksgiving dinner? If you don't tell me King's Hawaiian or homemade bread, I will take it upon myself to go get my own King's Hawaiian rolls, and I will bring them to your Thanksgiving. Not that your rolls are shit. I just have a preference, and it's just what I like. If I have to bring my own fucking rolls, I'll bring my own fucking rolls. I don't give a shit. Rolls are on the first category there. They're making the first cut. Also, first round, noodles. Once again, it goes back the same way with the rolls. Homemade noodles. My grandma does homemade noodles. She does them very thin in a broth. They're delicious. As soon as I saw my grandma pull out that pot of homemade noodles, I said, abso-fucking-lutely, category 1, you're coming with me today, right now. My mom's noodles that she made are a lot thicker, not as wide. They're not really wide noodles, but they're very thick noodles. She also put some bouillon in there with it. I think she had beef in with the noodles too, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong. I'm not sure, but it was just amazing. I love the noodles, but like I said, the noodles are a thing for me. If they're not that great, if they're just something somebody threw together really quick, just some noodles, maybe they're not category 4 for me. Maybe they're category 3. But it depends on the quality of the noodles. If they're homemade or if they're my mom's noodles, absolutely category 1. First rounder, you're coming with me, bub. And my last pick, because I wanted to keep these down to 4, make it a challenge for myself. There's 4 in each category. Must have, category 1, first round draft pick, deviled eggs. I do not care. I will savor him somewhere. Deviled eggs don't take up that much room on your plate. So you can fill up your plate and then just kind of pile the deviled egg on top of something maybe, or even slide it in there on the side somewhere. It can kind of mush in with something else. Deviled eggs are coming with me. That's my category 1 must-haves first round draft pick. Second round. So these are, like I said, these are things that I will go get a second plate. I may not get as much as my first helping, but I'm definitely going back because I definitely like these things. Category 2, I've got corn casserole on there. I love me some corn casserole, man. I don't know what it is. You'll find out later that there's some fucking shit that actually, yeah, it is in my category. I'll explain more about the controversy there. Corn casserole is a number 2. It's a good favorite of mine. Love corn casserole. If you don't have it, it is what it is. I'm not too upset about it, but I do like me a good corn casserole. Taters and gravy. Now, I will say this. Taters and gravy did not make my first cut. I don't need it. You know, it's just mashed potatoes and gravy is mashed potatoes and gravy no matter where you have it at. It doesn't matter. It's always the same. They're good. Don't get me wrong. I do like the mashed potatoes and gravy, but I don't need it on that first one. You know, I might take the gravy and, you know, whatever, but pour it over different things, pour it over my stuffing, whatever. But that's that. Also, in my number 2 category, which I know you guys are probably thinking, well, that wasn't in number 1, so where the fuck's it at? Category number 2 is some sort of meat, and I'll tell you why. Why in the fuck have I never had, other than once, a good turkey that actually had moisture to it, that wasn't dried out? And the only time I've ever had a turkey like that was when it was deep fried. My mom smoked a turkey this year, and that wasn't too bad. Still a little dry, but not near as bad. I'm not bagging on my grandmother. She's a wonderful person, an amazing cook. But the turkey was just really dry. And my dad even told me she made the turkey a couple of days in advance. That way it was all ready to go, had it all carved up. She just rewarmed it up when we all got there. I understand that. She's a busy woman. But let me tell you, that bird was dry. It didn't matter. The white meat, dark meat, turkey leg didn't matter. You were choking it down. And I only say this because it's just the truth. You know, I don't want to hurt my grandma's feelings. I mean, I know she probably wouldn't be upset with me. She probably would tell me it was a little dry. She still can't taste or smell anything ever since she's had COVID fucking 2 years ago, it seems like. But the bird was just, it wasn't for me. And I don't know what it is, but I can do without the turkey on Thanksgiving, ladies and gentlemen. I don't know if you guys are the same way. I could do without the turkey. You know, I'm cool with a honey glazed ham. Can't fuck up a ham, really. I mean, I'm good with chicken. If you wanted to do chicken on Thanksgiving, I'm all about that. Resemble the bird, I don't give a fuck. Nobody's gonna know the difference other than me and the people who make some fucking fried chicken. I don't give a fuck. There's some kind of meat that's gonna be on my round two. Also, my round two. If you got a broccoli casserole over there with some cheese, maybe some crackers or some sort of crust on it, I'm taking that for a solid number two. Can't go wrong with a broccoli casserole. Don't need it, but it's definitely a good staple. Holds everything together. Good Thanksgiving staple for me. Some people don't have it, and that's okay. I'm cool with that. Category three. This is if there's room in my belly after a snack, maybe, or maybe a third plate if I'm getting full, but I'm like, oh, I could eat a little more, but I know I'm going to be miserable, but it'll be okay. Category three, I'm always doing dessert. Dessert's not that big of a priority for me. However, it is Thanksgiving. Everybody always brings dessert. Everybody always forgets about that dessert till it's too late. And you're like, fuck, man. I'm so full. I can't even fucking think about dessert right now. But you will come back to it maybe an hour or two later. That dessert's still sitting out. Definitely take some kind of dessert. I'll go over some different desserts later on the podcast. The mac and cheese. Mac and cheese is an anytime thing. Doesn't have to be super special, but if somebody has mac and cheese, I'll eat some, but it's definitely not a priority for me. It doesn't have to be there for sure. Sweet potatoes are also in my category three. I'm not a huge fan of sweet potatoes. I'll eat a little bit. I'll taste, but I've never been a big sweet potato fan. So not the hugest fan of the sweet potatoes, but I'll definitely chow down on them. Then if you've got a potato or mac salad, I've been to Thanksgiving where some people have a potato or a mac salad. Once again, that's something you can have any time of year. It doesn't have to be Thanksgiving. May kind of slide back in for the potato salad, the mac salad later on, but definitely not on the first or second round. Just doesn't belong. Category four. This is very important to me. Do nots at Thanksgiving. Nobody fucking needs cranberry sauce. Nobody. Cranberry sauce is a waste. If you put a little bit of cranberry sauce on your plate, you might as well just cover your whole fucking plate in cranberry sauce. Doesn't belong, in my opinion. If you got hurt feelings about it, sorry about your luck. But I'm just not a cranberry sauce guy. Never have been, never will be. Salad. I have had somebody try to serve me a salad before Thanksgiving dinner, and I claimed, what in the fuck are you doing? I do not want a salad before I'm fixing to pig out on Thanksgiving dinner. Hard pass on the salad. You're wasting time. You're filling up room in my belly for all the other goodness, delicious stuff that you got going on. Absolutely not. I'll pass on the salad. Now, if you remember back to category two, I said corn casserole was a second for me. Cornbread is a no for me. And I'll tell you why. I don't know what it is about it, whether it's texture, whether it's, never been a cornbread fan. Always been a corn casserole fan. I don't know why that is. I just don't like cornbread. Too dry for me, maybe. Taste is different. I don't know. Not a cornbread fan. Doesn't need to be at Thanksgiving. We've got the rolls. The rolls will suffice. Don't make me cornbread. And if you have cornbread and no rolls, like stated previously, I will go get my own rolls. I'm perfectly fine with that. Glazed carrots or raw vegetables. Hard pass. Hard pass on Thanksgiving. They don't belong there. Make it a casserole or whatever. Cooked carrots, cooked carrots might even be on like a number 3 category for me, but yeah. I know I guess a lot of people say that, glazed carrots, raw vegetables are good for Thanksgiving. No. Not for me. But that's my opinion. Maybe you guys have a different opinion. I'd like to hear what your guys' opinions are about your Thanksgiving meals. If you want to shoot me a message on Facebook Messenger, however you want to get a hold of me and let me know, hey, your list was spot on. I really liked it. Or hit me up and say, hey, you're fucking stupid, man. How in the fuck was cranberry sauce not a part of your Thanksgiving? Or why the fuck wasn't turkey on your number one? Let me know how you feel. How you feel about that? Let me know what you think, too. Where do you stand on some of the shit, if it makes any sense? So to move on from Thanksgiving, after the week of Thanksgiving, or the weekend, or however you guys look at it, after Thanksgiving in Ohio, deer season starts. I've always been a big shotgun hunter. I always did love it. My dad taught me how to shoot a shotgun. I think he took me out the first time when I was a kid. And I loved it ever since. I've always been a big shotgun hunter. The past couple years I haven't went, though, just because I haven't had the same days off work. I haven't had the time to take off work. So haven't been deer hunting in a few years, but I still do. I absolutely love it. I love the peace, the tranquility that you get being out in the woods. Um, we even hunt with multiple other people. I like spending time with them. Getting to see them once a year, right around this time of year, is always fun. Sucks that I haven't been able to do it the last couple years, but they all understand. They know I started a new job, and it is what it is. And some things are just out of your control. And I just didn't feel like if I did get a deer license and a tag this year, if I even did shoot a deer on the 1 or 2 days off that I might be able to hunt, you know, would me and my brother eat an entire deer just between the two of us, or be able to even share one out with other people? Just decided that it wasn't. I didn't want to go out this year. Just wasn't going to go. My brother didn't go either. Just decided he wasn't feeling like going either, and he also had to work, so it was okay. But that's always a big thing for me. And as you guys know, I'm not normally big about setting up my Christmas tree until after this week's over for deer season yet. So I don't mind Christmas, but I just feel like it has its time and it's a little bit early yet. But talking about Christmas too, we'll go ahead and jump into that topic. I love, like I said, I do like Christmas. I really do. I like what it stands for. I'm very Christian. Have very strong Christian beliefs. So I do like Christmas and what it stands for, but I also like giving people that I do care about gifts. It's the gift giving season. Obviously, everybody knows that. Um, but it seems like it's getting harder and harder each year to, I would like to. I sat down this year and I made a list of people that I wanted to get Christmas gifts for, not only family but friends, people that I do care about, and I made this list up of people that I wanted to get gifts for. Then when I turn around and go shopping for them, I'm like, man, I have no idea what the fuck they would want. I'm horrible about that aspect of it. I think when it comes down to it, I'm all about getting you a gift. I just don't know what the fuck to get you. And if you're not gonna tell me, then I'm fucked. You know what I mean? It's really difficult. And my mom's been doing the same thing. She's been asking me, hey, what do you want for Christmas, Dad? Hey, what do you want for Christmas? And I haven't been any help either because really I don't need anything. What do you get somebody that, there's nothing that I've been sitting around the house going, man, I could really use this. I'm in a good spot. I'm comfortable. I don't really need anything. The basic socks and underwear that my mom always gets me every year for Christmas, which I'm very grateful for. But other than that, I mean, I got just about everything I need. I was telling mom, she's like, I'm just having a really hard time for you this year. And I was like, I don't know what to tell you. And that brings up a thing. I know people have a bad stigma about it, and a lot of people don't like doing it, but are gift cards a bad idea for Christmas gifts? So what do you guys feel? Do you feel the same way my family does? And they're like, well, Christmas gift cards are kind of shady because, it's the gift of, oh, I'd like to give you something, but I don't know what to get you. So here, you get you something. They think that the thought just isn't there or something, it had to be rushed or something. In my opinion, gift cards are a great idea. If I get you a gift card, I know you're going to get something that you want. If I get you a gift and you're going to be like, oh man, I really appreciate this because it was the thought that counts. It always is. But are you going to use that gift at all if I get it for you? Are you going to use it once and then throw it in the corner and never go back and look at it ever again? I would much rather me get you a gift card and you actually enjoy something versus just me getting you something that I'm not 110% sure that you're going to use. But that's just me. It doesn't bother me. Gift cards wouldn't bother me. I'd be like, yeah, I'm definitely cool with a gift card. If you wanted to get me a gift card, by all means, I'll take the gift card. Because at least, like I said, I've got a Harley Davidson that I know is going to need an oil change. That started next year. So I told mom, I said, if you're having a difficult time, there's a Harley Davidson gift card that you could slide in my stocking or wrap it up however you wanted. I said, I'd be greatly appreciative of that. I'll have to look and see. I can't remember if somebody said the tires go last year every 2 years or every year. Can't remember. I just put new tires on the bike last year, and I'm sitting here looking at the tires. They still look good, but it also depends too. I'm going to be doing a lot of riding next year. I got a lot of rides planned out that I'm looking forward to doing. Today I'm recording. It is Tuesday, November 29th. And I was doing a little bit of research and trying to figure out what I wanted to do, and I stumbled across that today is Solidarity with Palestinian People Day. And I sat back and I'm like, okay. Don't know much about the Palestinian people. They seem all right, I guess. I mean, don't know much about them other than the movie Don't Mess with the Zohan. The Palestinian people and the Israeli people. And if you haven't seen the movie, it's going to be hard for me to explain it to you, but. So yeah, whatever. Today I guess is solidarity with Palestinian People Day. So happy National Day for that. Today is also Howie Mandel's birthday. So I thought, okay, well, go on, look and see, what I can find out about Howie Mandel. Obviously, everybody knows, it's the TV shows, the game shows that he's been on, shit like that. But I went on and I found these quotes and was looking up some of the shit about Howie Mandel. I did know he was a big germaphobe. Stevens had told me that, whether it was on or off podcast, I can't remember. But Stevens did tell me he was a very big germaphobe. Didn't know how big of a germaphobe he was until I researched this, which is kind of weird. But I mean, if you're a germaphobe, maybe you do the same things. I don't know. I'm not a germaphobe. I don't go this far with shit. But it says, Howie Mandel quote, I'm always in a hotel room and I spend a good portion of my day setting it up so that it's comfortable for me. Whether that means making a path out of towels so I don't touch the carpet, or removing the comforters, or just not touching things. He's that big of a germaphobe. Like, he gets extra towels so he can make a pathway from the bathroom to the bed so he doesn't have to walk on the carpet. Pulls the old sheets and linens off so he can make sure he puts fresh linens. Like, oh, come on, dude. If that's what you're about, that's what you're about, I guess. But he says even sitting on a plane, he kind of does the same thing, setting it up to where he feels comfortable. Like, what would you? I mean, yeah, he's got a shit ton of money, so he would, I'm assuming, fly first class where he's by himself, or if he had to, fucking book up the whole fucking row so he could sit by himself. I don't know about you guys, but if I only need one plane ticket, I'm only buying one plane ticket. I'm not buying three. Fuck that. I don't give a shit who I sit next to. I only got to deal with you for so long. Then, speaking of Thanksgiving, another Howie Mandel quote. Howie Mandel says, I'm from Canada, so Thanksgiving is just another Thursday with more food. And I'm thankful for that. So, happy Thanksgiving, Howie Mandel, and happy birthday. Even though you're not a huge Thanksgiving celebrator guy, happy Thursday, I guess. And I'm glad you like the food. Also, today is Russell Wilson's birthday. And I really wanted to talk about this guy because I saw this quote because I went on this same thing and I looked up quotes from Russell Wilson and I thought, you know what, this will be funny because I know what he's got going on right now. Anybody that follows the NFL, if you're a Russell Wilson fan, it's a horrible time to be one. I'm very sorry for your hurting. Please send your prayer requests out. Your prayer requests will be heard, and that's about it. Probably just be heard because I don't think there's anything left for this guy. The Broncos are 3-8 this season. Russell Wilson has a 58% completion rating, and he is the second most sacked quarterback in the NFL with 35 sacks. But yet this quote says, I have very high expectations for myself. Always have, always will. That will never waver. I always believe in my talent. Always have, always will. Never waver. I'm like, come on, dude. If anybody heard Russell Wilson when they went to the Patriots game in New England, decided that on the plane while his teammates are trying to sleep, he's going to do push-ups and sit-ups in the aisle of this fucking airplane. For fuck's sakes, dude. Jesus. I mean, granted, yes, it is good to set high expectations for yourself. And the high expectations are obviously going to lead to those goals, and that's what you want to do. But come on, man. You're not. It's about time to cash it in, don't you think? They're the worst team in the West, I believe. Yeah, worst team in the West. Worst team in the AFC, being 3-8. Broncos are 3-8. Steelers, Browns, and Raiders are 4-7. Come on now. Like, I was looking up some of his stats. I'm like, come the fuck on, dude. Like, I don't think. I'm glad you want to do good for yourself. I'm glad you set yourself high expectations, which is great. I think you should. I think you should set good goals and try to meet them. But at the same time, you've been in the NFL. You've made your statement. For me, Russell Wilson, happy birthday, but when's enough? Same thing with the Jets quarterback. I mean, I don't follow the NFL very much. I'm not a huge NFL fan, but whoever the fuck the Jets quarterback is that decided to say that him only scoring 3 points wasn't his problem. He didn't feel responsible for only putting up 3 points against the team when they held the other team to 3 points until the last 8 seconds of the game. Asked him if he felt responsible for that, and he said no. One word answer, no. You're a quarterback. Put that weight on your shoulders. Yeah, it's my fucking fault. You lost your fucking starting job over it. Now they're starting some other dude. You'll live and learn. You make mistakes. It's fine, but just a little bit ridiculous in my fucking opinion. But my opinion is no different than anybody else's opinion. Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, and mine just so happens to fucking stink. Some people's don't. Most people's do. So to round out this episode, talked a little bit about some funny shit. Wanted to do those kind of things. I had a question from a friend of mine. We were talking about Thanksgivings and shit like that. And he asked if dessert was a big thing for me. And I told him, like, that's kind of where the topic got started on what Thanksgiving foods are must-haves and what aren't. And I told him, I said, I am a big Thanksgiving guy, and I do like Thanksgiving desserts too. I just normally don't ever leave room for dessert on Thanksgiving, which I feel like a lot of people don't anyways either. But he was asking me, he's like, well, what's some of the things that you really like for your Thanksgiving dessert? I told him, I said, I'm a huge pumpkin roll fan. If you know anything about me, you get me a pumpkin roll even if you get me a pumpkin roll for Christmas, I'm like happy as a fucking 5-year-old on crack cocaine. No question about it. I don't know what it's like to see a 5-year-old on crack cocaine, but I can only imagine it's pretty cool. I can only imagine they're pretty happy. But yeah, I'm a huge pumpkin roll guy. Pumpkin pie is okay. Not a year-round thing. I could eat fucking pumpkin roll year-round. Absolutely, hands down. And we got to talking about he's not a huge fan of pumpkin pie. He told me that, and I was like, yeah, I understand that. Some people aren't a big fan of pumpkin, and that's cool. And we were talking about some of the pies and shit. And it fell right in line with it because also today being the 29th, today is National Lemon Pie Day too. So we were talking about that too, and I was like, yeah, today's National Lemon Pie Day, and got to talking about the desserts for Thanksgiving, and I made a list of 5 pies that I feel are underrated, 5 pies that are overrated, and there's one that's kind of like an unpopular opinion that's underrated. And I want to give you guys that one too, kind of see how you fell in line with me on this. I have unpopular opinions on this list, I do believe. Some people may not think the same way I do, but that's just one of my things. Today being National Lemon Pie Day, I think lemon pie is underrated. I love lemon pie. Not a huge fan of the meringue. I'm cool with it, but just a nice cool piece of lemon pie with a glass of milk. Absolutely. Lemon pie, underrated. Apple pie still being everybody's favorite pie. Apple pie is underrated. You cannot fuck up an apple pie. And even if you do fuck it up somehow, it's still going to fucking taste good. I'm all about the apple pie. Banana pie. I love a good banana cream pie too. Nilly wafers on top. Give or take whether it's got nilly wafers or not, I'm cool with it. I believe banana pie is underrated. Any one of these pies with a good glass of milk. Oh, yes, sir. I'm all about it. Peanut butter pie, in my opinion, is still underrated. I know a lot of people don't really like peanut butter pie because it's just basic, but you give me a nice cold piece of peanut butter pie, I'm all about that. I'll eat that 10 days out of 10. And that's the reason why I'm fat. Cherry pie, too. I also believe that cherry pie is underrated. I always like me a good piece of cherry pie. It's one of those pies, like apple pie, you can't really fuck it up. And even if you do, it's going to taste okay. Unpopular opinion, and I've had this conversation with my girlfriend. I like key lime pie. Like a nice piece of key lime every once in a while. Not one of my favorites, but I do like it. It's something a little different, kind of unorthodox, but I do like it. I believe it's underrated, in my opinion. Overrated pies, in my opinion. Sweet potato pie can go fuck itself straight back where it came from. Sweet potatoes don't belong in a pie. They belong by themselves. Sweet potatoes, no pie. Overrated. Coconut pie, over fucking rated. I don't like coconut, period, because it gets stuck in my teeth. My dad's favorite pie is coconut cream pie. I don't know what the fuck his problem is, but I am not a coconut cream pie fan at all. I can do without it. Anytime I see coconut cream pie, absolutely will steer away from that. Custard. Some people say custard is a pie. Some people say custard is custard. My grandma makes custard every year, and I just don't like it. I think it's an older people kind of thing. It is what it is. I just never been a big custard pie person. I mean, maybe you are, maybe you aren't. Maybe you feel different about it than that. Unpopular opinion, overrated. Pecan pie. I'm not a huge pecan fan. I don't think pecans belong in a pie. Pecans belong by themselves, and even then, in a pie form, it's just not for me, man. I just I'm not. I can't. Mm, just not all about it. And my last fifth pick for overrated pies, I think just a basic chocolate pie is overrated. You know, you can do anything with a pie, but yet chocolate pie, just a regular ass chocolate cream pie. Those were actually some of the, it was. I looked up a list on the top, I don't know, 15 ranked pies, and I chose 11 of them on there, and I decided that I was going to rate those whether I thought they were overrated or underrated. So I wanted to bring those out to you guys, see what you guys thought about that. All right, guys. Sorry for a short episode. I've been trying to sit here and think a little bit about if there's anything else that I want to talk about, but other than that, there really hasn't been anything going on this week. Been a slow week, and just been kicking back, relaxing, and like doing these podcasts, man. Because let me tell you, it just gives me that time to relax a little bit. And wasn't able to smoke a cigar because I'm in the house today. It's a little bit too cold to be doing it out in the garage. So, but having me a nice little drink, and gonna edit this episode so you guys have a good, clean episode to listen to. But thanks again for all the dedicated listeners that I have out there. I appreciate you guys making this go as smoothly as possible, and hope you guys are enjoying the content. Like I said, once again, if you have any suggestions for content or questions that you might have, feel free to message me on Facebook, get a hold of me one way or another, get your questions heard, and I will definitely look into those and see if I can find if anybody's left me anything here recently, or if you're looking at how to find the podcast, you guys can find me just about anywhere. Let your friends know where they can find it or where you guys found it. The more people we have listening, the better off. I really appreciate you guys, and the more listeners I have, just the more it gets me out of the funk to just sit down, record a podcast, and get everything out that I got out. But thanks again, guys. I appreciate everything that you guys do. Dedicated listeners. This wouldn't be anything without you guys. So pat yourselves on the back for that. Hope you guys have a wonderful week, and we will see you next week. And until next time, stay wobbled, guys. Thanks. Have a good one.